are ringing through my open ears, inciting and inviting me.
In March, mission STS-123 delivers Dexter and installs Kibo. The Ares 1X goes on display, and a design review for a James Webb Telescope component is completed.
Main gear touchdown.
The STS-123 crew returned safely to Earth after completing a 16-day journey of nearly 6.5 million miles in space aboard Space Shuttle Endeavour. The crew, commanded by Dom Gorey, landed safely at the Kennedy Space Center on March 26. The mission highlights include the delivery of the Japanese Kibo module and the installation of Canada's Dexter robot.
I can't imagine the mission could have gone any better, and they made it look easy.
STS-123 was the longest shuttle mission to the ISS and included a record 5 spacewalks. Joining Gorey on the mission were pilot Greg Johnson and mission specialists Bob Behnken, Mike Foreman, Rick Linehan, Garrett Reisman, and Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency astronaut Takao Doi. Reisman remained aboard the space station, replacing Expedition 16 flight engineer Leopold Ahartz, who returned with the Endeavour crew. A full-scale element of NASA's Ares 1X rocket was on display at the Glenn Research Center. The simulated element represents the size, outer shape, and mass of the second stage of the Ares 1 rocket. Members of the media were invited to climb inside the 18-foot wide, 45-foot tall simulation of the Ares 1 upper stage, which was designed and manufactured at Glenn. They also received a tour of Glenn's fabrication shop, where this launch vehicle demonstrator was created. A test launch and flight of the Ares 1X is scheduled for April 2009. It'll be a critical milestone in the development of NASA's Constellation program to send astronauts back to the moon. The preliminary design review for the tennis court-sized sunshield for the James Webb Space Telescope has been completed. The telescope is NASA's next-generation space observatory. It's designed to explore phenomena from distant galaxies to nearby planets and stars, from the origins of the universe to the formation of star systems capable of supporting life on planets such as Earth. The Webb telescope will give scientists unprecedented access to unexplored regions of space.
The James Webb Space Telescope is going to be the preeminent scientific tool for the nation in space over the next decade or so.
Story update.
The first of 18 mirror segments that comprise NASA's James Webb Space Telescope arrived at the Marshall Space Flight Center. The segments will be tested at the center's X-ray and Cryogenic Facility, or XRCF, to determine how they will hold up in the extreme temperatures of space. The facility is the world's largest X-ray telescope test facility and a unique cryogenic clean room optical test facility. Cryogenic testing will take place in a 7,600 cubic foot helium-cooled vacuum chamber. The mirror components will be cooled from room temperature to a frigid minus 414 degrees Fahrenheit. As the temperature decreases, engineers will precisely measure the section's structural stability to ensure they'll perform as designed once in orbit. The James Webb Space Telescope is a large infrared optimized space telescope destined to be the premier observatory of the next decade. It is expected to launch in 2013.
In April, astronaut Peggy Whitson breaks space endurance record. The 50th lecture series presents physics giant Stephen Hawking. The SOFIA telescope is readied for a final coat. Engineers test the Mars Science Lab parachute system. The Stardust Comet Sample Return Mission Team is honored. And NASA centers commemorate humankind's first venture into space.
Expedition 16 Commander Peggy Whitson and cosmonaut Yuri Malenchiko returned to Earth on April 19th after spending 192 days in space. During the mission, they accomplished a number of record-breaking feats.
Congratulations, you are the world record holder in EVA time.
just being in the right place at the right time.
Whitson also set the all-time endurance record for the most aggregate days in space by a U.S. astronaut, with 377 days on orbit. Whitson is now 20th on the all-time list of astronauts' days in space, while Malenchiko's cumulative achievement of 515 days places him 9th on the all-time list of human space travelers. Whitson set the record over 2 missions, eclipsing Mike Foale's record of 374 days, which was achieved over 6 flights. The Expedition 16 crew also completed a number of experiments designed to gather information about the effects of long-duration spaceflight on the human body. Physics pioneer Professor Stephen Hawking spoke to a rapt audience at George Washington University on why we should go into space.
What is the justification for spending all that effort and money on getting a few lumps of moon rock? It will completely change the future of the human race and maybe determine whether we have any future at all.
Hawking and his daughter Lucy are the most recent speakers for NASA's 50th anniversary lecture series. The pair are co-authors of a children's book, George's Secret Key to the Universe. Hawking is a theoretical physicist and a Lucasian professor of mathematics at the University of Cambridge. He has made significant discoveries regarding cosmology, gravity, and black holes. Hawking is the recipient of numerous awards and honors. In 1982, he was awarded the Commander of the Order of the British Empire and made a Companion of Honor in 1989. He is a Fellow of the Royal Society and a member of the U.S. National Academy of Sciences. Other speakers in NASA's 50th anniversary lecture series included Google CEO Eric Schmidt and NASA Administrator Michael Griffin. Technicians at the NASA Dryden Aircraft Operations Facility in Palmdale, California, carefully removed the German-built primary mirror assembly from SOFIA, the Stratospheric Observatory for Infrared Astronomy, on April 18th in preparation for the final coating of the mirror. Under the watchful eyes of engineers and observers, they used a precision crane to lift the mirror assembly, which weighs more than 2 tons, from its cavity in the rear fuselage of the highly modified Boeing 747 aircraft. The mirror then was gently secured and moved to a clean room to be prepared for shipment to NASA's Ames Research Center. At Ames, the one-of-a-kind 2.5-meter diameter mirror will receive its final aluminized finish before it's reinstalled in the SOFIA aircraft. The process is expected to take about 3 months.
Engineers at the Ames Research Center have conducted wind tunnel tests of the Mars Science Laboratory parachute decelerator system. The parachute is designed to slow the Mars entry vehicle from Mach 2 to low subsonic speeds as it prepares for a rocket-powered descent and landing on the Martian surface. Researchers from the Jet Propulsion Laboratory and Pioneer Aerospace will study the data gathered when the parachute is opened and first exposed to wind. The parachute, which is more than 50 feet in diameter and 165 feet long, can only be tested at Ames's National Full-Scale Aerodynamic Complex, the world's largest wind tunnel. Members of NASA's Stardust Comet Sample Return Mission Team were among the recipients of the National Air and Space Museum's 2008 Trophy Awards. The Stardust team received the 2008 Current Achievement Trophy for accomplishing the first U.S. robotic sample return mission beyond the moon and securing the first collection of comet and interstellar dust particles for study on Earth.
After we're done with this mission, we've left a heritage of these samples that are going to be studied for 100 years.
The Stardust spacecraft secured its unique specimens during a nearly 3 billion-mile 7-year odyssey. Scientists believe these precious samples will provide answers to fundamental questions about comets and the origins of the solar system. The awards honor outstanding achievements in aerospace science and technology. Along with the awards, a special case containing Stardust artifacts was unveiled for display at the Air and Space Museum. Ames, Goddard, and